Hey, what's up, guys? So, there was some more leaks for The Last of Us Part 1 that came out today, and a lot of people were saying, like, this game is definitely not worth $70, and a lot of people were very disappointed with the lack of gameplay changes, and there was just a lot of controversy going around the internet today, and so a few hours ago, PlayStation actually dropped an official like 10-minute video showcasing all the new features and gameplay that's coming to The Last of Us Part 1. I mean, for those of you who have watched my last couple videos about The Last of Us Part 1, you would know that even with the leaks, I was still very excited for this game. I still thought that this game is worth buying again. I mean, I did think that, with the gameplay that we saw, I was like, you know what, this seems like it is pretty much the exact same as The Last of Us Remastered, and that it just looks a lot better like part 2, and the only differences in gameplay is going to be more subtle. And that's pretty much true because obviously I've watched this new 10-minute video that PlayStation put out, and I mean, they really go in depth with not only just the gameplay, but like how they utilize the adaptive triggers, like when you pull a bow, and with the 3D audio headsets, and also how with the PS5's capabilities they were able to capture more of the actors' original performances so it looks more authentic. And we also now know that there's going to be seamless transitions, like in part 2 when it would go from a cutscene and then it would just transition perfectly into gameplay without any loading screens. So that's going to be coming to The Last of Us Part 1. And they also showed off a lot more different like landscapes and like side-by-side comparisons. And I mean, it genuinely looks just as good as Part 2, if not a little bit better. And I've seen some people saying that like it looks barely any better, and this is like a remaster of a remaster, and it just genuinely blows my mind. I don't know what kind of eyes those people have, but like I don't know how you can look at this and then look at the remastered and be like, oh, you know what, that looks like a little better. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And also a big thing besides the gameplay that got leaked out that had a lot of people worried was the AI, because I mean, when I watched it, I didn't really notice it, but apparently a lot of people were saying, oh, the AI is really stupid, and the only thing that I noticed, because I rewatched it like 3 or 4 times, and there was one instance where Joel was like running away from a hunter to go behind cover, and Ellie just got up and just started walking like right in front of the enemy. And so I was like, okay, I saw that, but like I didn't see anything else that made me think like, okay, the AI is just stupid. And in this video that I'm playing in the background right now, one of the guys confirmed that the AI for the enemies that's going to be in this game, they took it from part 2. So The Last of Us Part 1 is going to have The Last of Us Part 2's enemy AI, and it's probably going to be a little bit better. Obviously, like I said, when the leaks came out, I was a little bit worried because of just the gameplay, but I still gave Naughty Dog the benefit of the doubt because Naughty Dog has never let me down personally, and especially watching this new trailer, like the environments look absolutely phenomenal, and there's even subtle changes, like maybe on a wall when the original version was like bare, and then now it has like a fire hydrant, or it has like whenever you're on the rooftops in Billstown and one of the buildings is just like a brick wall, and now it has like all this vegetation growing over it, so it just makes it look more realistic and it's so much more immersive. And also they did a deep dive into the accessibility features, which they're pretty much taking all of them from part 2 and just putting it in this game. So that's awesome, because I mean, it's awesome having as much people as possible that want to play this game that have disabilities. They can now play it and pretty much experience it like I or anyone else would. So that's obviously very good to see. And they also showed off for the first time that the speedrun mode, so whenever you want to try and beat the game as fast as possible, there's going to be a timer in the top right corner. And also they confirmed, even though we already knew, but they kind of showed it off a little bit, like whenever you die in permadeath mode, and it's pretty much the exact same as The Last of Us Part 2. And whenever I watched this trailer for the first time, the thing that got me the most excited, and I don't know why, but in The Last of Us Part 1, we're going to have character models. Like, we can look at them, like, you know, when you go in the menus of Part 2, you can go to every single one of the characters in the game and just like look at their model and spin them around and zoom in and stuff. Like, that's going to be in this game. Like, that's something that I've always wanted to be in this remake, and it's going to be in the game. So I cannot wait to see like what different kind of character models, because they actually, one of them they showed off was one of Ellie and Joel sitting at a campfire laughing, and that is literally like the best thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, and apparently that came from a concept art from the original game, so maybe we're gonna get some like never before seen like concept art images, but actually like in Part 2's engine in the game. You know, I don't think that means that they're going to be adding anything, because Neil confirmed that like at the end of this trailer that they wanted to stay as faithfully true to the original game as they possibly could. And that's why, as far as the gameplay, like, yes, the gameplay is pretty much the exact same as the original game, but they only added upon it because they didn't want to change it. Of course they could have added, you know, dodging and proning, but then they would have had to change the level design and the enemies to work around those things, you know. And I'm totally okay with that. Like they had a choice. They chose to go in the direction of, you know, honoring the original game's gameplay and just tweaking it by adding some things that were in Part 2, but not like the biggest things, you know. So whenever we play the game, it's gonna feel like Part 2, you know. And also one thing they showed is that apparently whenever he pets the giraffe towards the end of the game, apparently you're gonna feel that, so it'll feel like you're petting a giraffe or something like that. So I mean, I'm so ready. I can't wait to re-experience this game, even though I've played it like 10 times now. But I mean, this is going to be the definitive way to play this game. And I mean, there's still a lot of people like saying that, oh, Naughty Dog is just damage controlling and this game is still not worth $70. And I mean, if you think it's not worth $70, that's totally cool. I mean, I'm not going to go into like what you can do as far as like, oh, wait for a sale or don't buy it at all. Like, you know, you don't have to buy this game, you know. But for those of us who are excited, including myself, I think it's safe to say that this game is absolutely not a cash grab, because if it was a cash grab, then they wouldn't have added all these accessibility features, and they wouldn't have taken the time and care into making the graphics look as good as they do and improving the enemy AI. They would have just, you know, put on a new fresh coat of paint and just maybe it's like 1440p, 100 FPS, and it just takes advantage of the PS5, like the SSD and the DualSense features, and that's it. But there's so much more, you know. And also another thing that got me really excited whenever they were talking about the 3D audio and how you can hear like clickers and the stalkers, like when they're trying to surround you, or like, and they're in a different room, you can hear which room they're in. But it seems like there's going to be silencers in the game, because whenever Joel shot that stalker in that certain area that they showed, it was pretty quiet, the gunshot. So I think there's going to be silencers. So that's just another thing from Part 2 that's coming to this game. And so yeah, I mean, I'm just very, very excited. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm starting to ramble. And so yeah, I'm just going to leave it up to you guys. What do you think down below? Let me know your thoughts on if you've seen this new gameplay trailer. What are your thoughts? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it informative, drop it a like and hit the subscribe button by turning on the post notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. Until next time, guys, take care.